Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely spectacular. I just got off a tremendous referral introduction. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That,
really nice.
that's the vibe I need today, Mike. Bring it.
Oh, spectacular. I mean, that will be a 60 to $100,000 a year coaching client.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Well, Tina, do you know Tina yet? Tina Stalls?
No.
You will at the summit because she's the person who's helping me do the class.
Oh, okay.
Do
Cool.
she's my partner. She runs mastermind groups. She's she's she is a freaking stud. She like she's inspirational for me on multiple levels,
Really?
professionally and personally. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. I want to
Um,
know more, and I look forward to meeting her.
yeah, it's a referral to a 500 million two-person Raymond James team, right? So, and those are my perfect referrals because they're each making $1 million, right? They're super
Right.
successful and they are at a point where they don't have to do anything, but they want to, and they're trying to find a way to get to 1 billion that they don't hate.
Welcome to referral marketing.
That's what I do. So, and I told them,
Nice.
I
And
said,
and what does she do primarily? What's her business?
this Raymond James person,
No, the
oh, Tina, she runs
Tina.
LX Council.
A what council?
LX Council. So she has a license for, she runs, sells, I own one. She trains, certifies, and licenses peer advisory council mastermind group business. So
Gotcha. Very
she
cool.
competes with Vistage and
Yeah.
C12 and whatnot. So,
Gotcha.
are you ready for this podcast?
I mean, are we ever ready for anything? Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you're totally ready. So
Yeah.
just to kind of give you an overview.
Mhm.
Did you like that video, by the way?
I did. It got me in the right frame of mind, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I was anyway. I've read the book. I've drank all your Kool-Aid, Mike, but
yeah,
but
good.
it was a good refresher and it was good to just like take 5 minutes and listen to that this morning. And now I'm in like the right frame of mind
Yeah, good.
for you.
Because it sounds controversial. Why should I refer you?
Yeah.
But but really, it's a deeper question about who you are and what you're about. And that's
Yep.
what I really want to explore is experiences that you've had with referrals. That's kind of where we get started,
Okay.
right?
Not that many, to be honest. I just
Well,
read the book, but I do have at least one really good example.
yeah, well, also bad experiences.
Oh,
And I know you've got those.
well,
Don't say names, but
yeah, no, I'm not saying names on anything.
so and
Yeah, yeah.
then what we'll explore is kind of like, so from your perspective, right? What makes somebody worth referring? So we'll talk about that. And then kind of where we're going to end up at is kind of a look at from your business, your perspective, where do you best answer that question? What clients do you best answer that question for? So it'll be fun. You're not going to be put on the spot. So we're going to have a good time and it'll be great.
Oh,
You ready?
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to do like a brief intro, so my marketing guy knows where to put in the intro. So, John, this is the intro for Cara's podcast. Do your little smart stuff. Here we go. Welcome to the not Can I Borrow Your Car? John, delete that. Welcome to the Why Should I Refer You podcast. Our guest today is my friend Cara. Cara is really cool, interesting. She lives in a place that makes the best pizza in the world, but you can only eat 2 slices unless you're an offensive lineman. Otherwise, I think you would die. And we're talking Chicago deep dish pizza, right? So,
Yep.
Cara, just briefly tell everybody who you are, what you're about, and what kind of business you do.
Sure. So my name is Cara Gray, and I am currently defining myself as a retirement coach, although that word I don't love. Um, I host a podcast that I call Act Three. I publish a newsletter that I call Act Three. I really look at retirement as, this next stage. Like, what is it going to be after your main career? After you've maybe sold a business, after you've had a C-suite career, what is next? And I don't look at it as any kind of slowing down. So that's why the word retirement implies like laying around on the couch, playing with the grandkids, maybe a few rounds of golf. I don't think that's it. I think that it's can be way bigger than that, and life can be way juicier than that. And that is what I help my clients, figure out. A lot of people haven't even ever thought about, like really intentionally thought about what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. So that is
Yeah,
what I do.
it's cool because, and that's kind of how we got introduced to each other. It's through our SEPA certification.
Yep,
It's through Exit Plan Institute. You're a member of the chapter for EPI out there in Chicago,
that's
right?
right.
Trying to pronounce it right. Totally didn't. But like, I'll never forget, and then we'll launch into the referral stuff, but I'll never forget getting to meet you and understand what you're doing, because the number one problem within business owners selling their businesses is, we know from survey results that a year after exiting successfully, meaning they sold their company, that business owners are so unsatisfied and unhappy. And I think it's because they didn't work with somebody like you, someone that would ask them questions about what they wanted their life to really be like and push them to test it. I'll never forget when I was rolling out my little concept that I tell my clients, which is, how do you know you want to fly fish all the time? Have you ever done it? Like, and you were like, well, of course, that's what I do with my clients. I have them experiment if they want to travel. And I was like, oh my God, she exists. There's really, because the personal plan is where everything that it's not just the financial plan, it's not just the business plan, but it's that personal plan where we get granular, and then we work through. This is not a commercial for Cara. I just really like her and believe what she's doing. So if it's too much for you, don't follow the podcast, right? But like, I that work of helping the person deal with, what is my identity now, whether they're a business owner or whether they're a successful executive, and what will my identity be here? And like, why don't we make sure that we're going to like that, as opposed to stop making money and then have all that stress of figuring out who we are. So
Yep.
I think what you do is beautiful. The coach thing doesn't work either. You know what I mean? Like, the retirement thing does, but Act Three for me is a lot more tangible.
Yeah. But Act Three, what? If I'm not a coach, what
Yeah,
am I?
but nobody cares what your title is. What they really care is about, how do you write, how do you share what you do. That's more important.
Yeah.
So I think retirement coach puts you into that life coach, rent a friend conversation,
Listen.
which is which is less compensated.
Well, that's all relative too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yes,
No,
okay, I don't like both words in my title, but what I do is help people figure out how they want the rest of their life to look and to live it intentionally.
that's beautiful. That's what you should say you do.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's talk about referrals, right?
Yep.
So when you think about referrals in business, what are some of the things that come to mind? What are some of the stories or experiences you've had that come to mind?
I'm sorry. What comes to mind immediately is like what are they called? BNI groups.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I know you've been there and you've done it successfully, but
A while ago.
not in this current venture, but in another venture, my first entrepreneurial venture, I visited many BNI groups. I was a reoccurring guest at multiple. I never ended up actually committing and joining to. I just couldn't wrap my head around it because it seemed so transactional, like so completely transactional. And also like, you know, you might not like think every single person in your group that you're supposed to be referring business to is like the right person or even competent in some cases. So,
Newsflash.
so that is what I think of when I hear referral marketing. And I'm sure that is something that you come across quite often and, you have to battle against.
Oh God, yeah. And that really is, so like, so if you listeners, Cara just highlighted for you why most of us don't get as many referrals as we actually deserve. And it's because our referral sources are thinking transactionally about how to refer us. And so they're looking for deals. They're looking for that miracle, which is someone that wants what we do and doesn't know anyone already that does it, right?
Right.
And is in the market, right? So that's the problem with transactions. That transactional mindset not only has some conflicts of interest inherent in the process, potentially, not always,
Yeah.
but what it does is it narrows the referral process to a very minute section of time on this really long buying process. And so you beautifully stated it. That that's very common. It's very common. Um,
Yeah.
and the problem with referral groups is they always work for some of the people.
I mean, they must work for somebody. They're very
They
popular, right?
they
They
always
exist.
they always work for some of the people. However, I never recommend successful people join a new referral group. Never,
Mm.
right? And generally because the time needed to invest in that group is not justified by the potential income. When I look at their relationships they already have in their client base and in their current vendors and people like that, I'm like, hey, how about if we make the easier money first? And then if you have time, you can do something more speculative.
Yeah.
They never end up joining a referral group,
Yeah.
right? They're like, man, it's so much more funny getting lots of referrals from my clients. I didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah, like, so that's awesome. So you already hit it over the fence, right? The Cubs won the World Series. Everything's good, right? So when you thought of the podcast title, because you and I have talked before, when I first told you about that podcast title, why should I refer you? What did you first think of? What came to mind?
I was like, oh, I better have an answer for that.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're getting to that.
But it's a legitimate question, and it's something that everybody who's in a business where they want to be referred needs to be able to answer. Um, yeah, and it's not always easy. And I have the heads up that I've already read your book, so
Yeah.
I know
Well, it does
intellectually
help.
what the answer should be as well. Yeah, you gave some pretty strong clues, I would say.
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that you know, just really feeling good about your referral partners is something that we all need to feel, and how that works. And
Oh,
it's a much different mindset, obviously, than the BNI mindset that I have experienced previously. So I must say, like, everything has shifted now, and I'm looking at referrals much differently.
cool. Well, and you deserve it. So it's what's that the reason, and that's the upcoming book's going to be Why Should I Refer You? Right?
Oh, cool.
That and because that is the question that's always being asked subconsciously or consciously with a referral partner. They're like, and so often in my past, because B and I, we made people money, it was good.
Yeah.
But so much in my past, that question was always answered unconsciously and emotionally, right? And so you never quite knew until the referral started really performing if you had a good answer or not. And I don't like that kind of subjective approach to spending your life force, right? Like I like it to be more explicit and overt. And so when you think about it, so you're right, Kara, like, so you're in position, and as your business continues to grow, this is going to be more and more tangible for you
Yeah.
and more difficult.
Yeah.
What makes someone worth referring to? Like from your perspective.
From my perspective, I think it's somebody that I may have had a good experience with in the past, that I genuinely have experienced them as a good person in this world. I believe in their work ethic, their business ethic, their personal humanity. Um, and they have a track record of delivering for their clients. Like, they do good work. And I've either seen that through a past referral, or I know that from their reputation in the industry.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny, but like everyone wants to know the other person's a safe driver, right? They want to know that if I think about it, you know this and you've
Yeah.
experienced it. Like when you put yourself out there and you're referring a client or a family member, oh my God, it's always
Yeah.
worse when I refer a family member because I'm always worried about them being a bad client, by the way. But but like when you're the person initiating this referral process, you have so much more at stake than the other people,
Yeah.
which is why so often people are only referring stuff that's easy. And I understand it. Like I was talking to a very successful financial advisor early this morning, running a huge business, and he's like, "Yeah, we're just doing layups, right? Because we're always worried about how we look if we ask for referrals, or we're worried if
Mhm.
we push too much. Like, is a person going to do a good job?" And I said, "Man, I totally get it. Like
Yeah.
that's a legitimate fear that you'll either decide to address within a more proactive system, or you will, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with having referrals be what we've talked about so far, which is treat people well, do a good job, let them know you appreciate their help. There's nothing wrong with surprise referrals unless you want to be able to count on them. And then we have to take risks. And so if we're
Yeah.
going to take risks, we need to be aware of them and we have to be willing and want to take the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
No names, no names, right? Because we all know referral predators. We know them.
Yes.
Do you have some examples of people that you have encountered, for example, on LinkedIn? Because you are on LinkedIn. I love your newsletter. You're providing valuable. You also comment well. Like, and
Mm.
thank you for intelligent comments, right? Thank you,
Sure. Yeah.
as
You're welcome.
opposed to other ones, right? So you're out there. You have to run across people that are wanting you to give them business, and perhaps you don't believe they provide you a good reason.
Potentially. Potentially this happens.
Yeah. So think about it. What would it be like? How would it feel for you if someone, and you're somebody that's thinking about this on a conscious basis, if the average LinkedIn person connects with you,
Yeah.
right? And then their entire shtick is not why should you refer them, but that you should refer them.
Yeah.
This happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Well, you're asking for it with their whole business being referrals. I'm just
I
kidding.
know, I know. Like, so like my biggest problem
You just
is
send them your book. That's all you need to
no, those people don't get sent my book. Those people can buy the book. I
do.
send friends the book.
Yeah.
But what's interesting for me is, you know the people that bang on me all the time? Just
Who's that?
it's the people that want to sell me coaching programs.
Right.
I know because you got retirement coach. I know
Yeah.
they're like,
Coaching programs or some kind of fancy marketing, something or
oh
other.
yeah, change your life.
They're gonna get me calls, they're gonna grow my list, they're gonna do all these things for me magically. I'm gonna have clients lined up out the door.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I wasn't born yesterday. Like this is I've been around the block here. So
yeah. I,
I don't understand why anybody thinks that this is gonna be an attractive outreach situation.
well, it's the last dying throes of the advertising model,
Yeah.
right? Where we pay for attention, right? The
Yeah.
problem is that only worked when there were three channels,
Yeah.
right? In
NBC, ABC, CBS.
right?
Yeah,
And so
back in
so
those days.
so I'm here to tell you that the people that you're going to be working with, right? And the people as you scale your business, because I think you've got a business that can scale, you're going to be able to help other people like you that want to make a difference
Mhm.
because there's a visceral kind of experience for how you help clients. It's not you're not reserved, you're not removed. You're really helping them with their lives. You're going to find other people that want to do what you do. The challenge is going to be is are they going to approach you in a way that makes you want to meet with them? Right? So
Yeah.
what kind of things make it interesting for you to be willing to meet with somebody?
Somebody that wants to do what I do?
Or just in general. What like because Kara, you don't have all the free time in the world.
No. So
Like
I do not. And this has taken a little bit of time to suss out. I will add a disclaimer that I decided to start in a business where I had zero network. That was super smart.
done it.
But
I've done it.
yeah, but listen, it's something I'm passionate about. It's something that I want to do. It's a space where I see there can be a lot of growth. For me, somebody has to approach me with something about how they really care about their clients. There's got to be some aspect of that to it because really I talk to a lot of people and I have spoken to a lot of people over the last year and a half that I've been in business.
And your previous career. Think
Yeah.
about how many people. My goodness.
Yeah. And I just really can get a sense now. I mean, it kind of surprises me when people don't understand that what I do can be like a value add, very like thoughtful, caring thing for their clients to care about their life and what they're doing beyond the money. Um, but it's amazing to me how many people don't understand that. So when I talk to someone who gets it, that is a natural referral partner for me. That is, we are speaking the same language. We think the same way, and that we care about our clients and we want them to, want their lives to be happy. So, whatever, happy, purposeful,
Yeah,
thriving, all the things. Um, but that's what it takes for me. And there's really not a ton of people out there that really get it, which is, that's been disappointing. To be honest, I'm like, why doesn't everybody understand that this is a great value add for their business? And really, a handful thus far that I really consider golden geese, as you would say, like people who
yeah.
really understand what I'm doing, understand the value, who I would gladly do everything I can to refer work back to them because they refer work to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of that's because of unrecognized fear.
Yeah.
Like so people don't they they're not taught, especially in financial services, they're not taught that you prove your love for your clients by doing things that they don't get paid for, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so what's interesting for me about what you do, and so if you're a financial advisor and you're listening to this, number one, you will have an opportunity because Kara, later on, you're going to say how to find you and all that kind of stuff, right? And there'll be show notes because I work with professionals that cover up all of my mistakes. Hopefully,
Nice.
John cover up all my mistakes. But but the deal is this is like what I don't think a lot of financial advisors understand that post retirement is actually the most dangerous time for client retention because when you're working with successful people, when they transition from earning money to spending money for the rest of their life
Hmm.
and they don't enjoy that process afterwards, you, the financial advisor, are the only person left to blame.
That's right.
Right. And so, like, the way that I'm starting to talk about you, Kara, is you're kind of like client insurance, right? Well,
I
because,
mean, yeah, the retention is going to be higher if they're happy in their lives and they're
yeah,
not sitting looking at their portfolio balance every single day. Believe me, their life, financial planners' lives are going to get a lot easier if that's the case. And they're,
totally.
off traveling, off learning a new language, off like on the board of directors of something, like whatever it is that they identify they want to explore, that's what they're
And
going to be thinking about.
the beauty, and this, so hear me, if you're listening, financial advisors, here's the beauty. The best referral partners are the ones that, because of what they do, they're in position to help you get more referrals from your client that you referred them. And so,
Correct.
like, think about it. You want your retiree clients not worried about the money. You want them out there in public, interacting with other people, having a grand time, and finding new people to introduce you to Mr. or Mrs. Financial Advisor,
Mhm.
right? And I know that you talk to them after they retire as well. I know that you're in a relationship with them afterwards as well. It's huge. So, a couple things.
Mhm.
By the way, I think we just answered the why do you believe you're worth referring to question.
Cool.
And it's not just that result, but it's the fact that the most important thing in the referral process is believing that the person you're referring to actually cares about human beings, right? Because at
Agreed.
the end of the day, that's the safe driver. The person that's aware that it's your relationship that you're basically asking them to safeguard for a period of time and that they're going to lose more. And so that's beautiful. So you ready? Where for you, okay? Where do you prefer to meet not prospective clients because you work a lot through Golden Geese, you work a lot through financial advisors. Like,
Yeah.
how do you prefer to meet these financial advisors? What's your favorite way to get introduced? And you can't say by referral.
Yeah. Um, wow, I haven't thought about that. I mean, I do a lot of connection on LinkedIn to see if there's any bites. I mean, I'm definitely a product of like post-pandemic work style where I do all of my coaching here on
Aren't we
Zoom.
all? Aren't
I
we
know,
all?
but like I love that. You know, venturing out into the wild is a big deal for me. So that's why I very much focus, you know, I do focus my networking on the exit planning community in Chicago. That was something I did early. I saw extra value for what I do there. And you know, like showing up every month, you know, now it's been over a year since I've been part of that community, and that feels like a community now. That's the thing about this referral business too, is that it takes time and you make friends with those folks. So I guess any circumstance that would allow me to like get to know somebody on a more personal level and again get to know them over time. You know, referrals are starting to come now from that group, but you know, they don't know me. They don't know my work. So that's the thing about this. Like this is a long game, but I do believe that it's going to be very predictable
I
as
I
this
agree.
happens.
I agree.
So but that's the cool thing about it is like actually meeting people that you like and you get to see them every month or on Zoom or whatever, and it just becomes a relationship that you both like working with each other. And so it's supernatural to refer because I mean that relationship is it's solidified.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I mean, it's like that that's at the heart of why I still do this, right? For me,
Yeah.
spiritually, this is the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
But even apart from that, it just when you get to a certain point of success, it's easy to stagnate. It's easy to get burned out. And
Hmm.
I find that when I'm focused on giving and I'm focused on enjoying other people, that it's so much easier to not get stagnant and burn out, right?
Yeah.
Versus I'm
Yeah.
out there trying to make a sale as much as I can. And I'm
Yeah.
always selling. I am always selling. But I like to have fun when I sell. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. So last question, and then we get into, and it's a two-parter. So
Okay.
part one is what did I forget to ask you about, if anything? And then part two is how do people find you? And you have to mention your newsletter.
Oh, okay, cool. Um, what did you forget? I don't know. There's a lot of things you don't know about me, Mike. I'm just kidding. Many things we could talk about, but as it relates to my business and referral marketing, I will just say that the one thing that I want to say too is like this business for me was about me planning my third act and how I want to live. And so that's what I help my clients do. And that just feels so purposeful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole thing is very self-fulfilling for me. So I'm getting all the warm fuzzies on multiple levels, meeting cool people that I love to refer business with, and having that community, and then also like doing work that lights me up. So
Why not?
there we have it. And people can find me. So I have recently migrated a little bit unsuccessfully my newsletter from LinkedIn to a new platform called Beehive. And I will make sure that you
I've heard
have,
of Beehive.
yeah, it's super cool.
Give me
Yeah.
the link. Yeah, give me the link. We'll
Yeah,
put it
I'll
in the
make
show
sure to
notes.
get it to you. But that I want to grow because I think that there's an opportunity there. First of all, my newsletter gives a tremendous amount of value. Every single newsletter has actionable insights. This is free information. This is for not just people who are retiring, quite honestly, but anybody who's any kind of transition or anybody who just wants to like up level and think about what they're doing with their time, regardless of what life stage they're at. And I love it. I love writing that newsletter. So I think that, there's a potential to maybe monetize it at some point, but also the platform is more clean. It's more user friendly. It will show up in your inbox. But as a business person, you need to be growing your list too. And that's what I didn't love about LinkedIn. Like they own my list. I love LinkedIn, first of all, but also they own my list. So not great. But LinkedIn did give me the feedback that I needed to know that a newsletter is a valuable thing to be doing, and something that people are appreciating. So there's that. And then everything else about me is over at goodmorningfreedom.com. That is my website. Has all the information about me and about the services that I provide.
I always think of Robin Williams.
Good morning. Oh, good morning, Vietnam.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
freedom.
Vietnam. I mean,
I
this is where
oh,
we are.
I always think about that because of my seasoned, my life seasoning, right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm old. I will say this, and this is the last thing, and then I'll the thank you. But like what I really like about your newsletter is this emphasis on living
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
now,
These are things you can do right now to
right now.
live better. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think is at the heart of why refer you. It's because your message is not about some fuzzy thing in the future. It's about, hey, like what's important to you? You're important because you're a human being.
Mhm.
Like, let's do like some of your stuff about travel with some of the people you talk. It's just really beautiful. It's important. So
Yeah.
thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks
If
for
you're
having me.
interested, you need to like if you can't figure out how to get in contact with Cara, ask me and I'll be glad to take credit for introducing you. Thanks again, Cara. You're the best.
You're welcome.